Hi, I'm Jimmy O'Brien, and we're going to talk a little bit about agricultural pollution and the problems that are associated with it. So first, where do we see agricultural pollution? Obviously, in any bodies of water in residential areas and rural areas. Typically, it's found in the Chesapeake Bay, as well as the Gulf of Mexico. That's because everything drains to a central location. The Bay and the Gulf of Mexico are the two biggest that drain the entire United States. So the Chesapeake Bay program shows that there's 42% of nitrogen comes from agriculture that's found in the Chesapeake Bay. 55% of the phosphorus found in the bays comes from agriculture, as well as 60% of the sediment. This is all because of the fertilizers and chemical pesticides, as well as the tilling of the fields. Everything runs off into rivers, which in turn go to the bay. So this is from the USDA, and it shows that farm fertilizer is the biggest source of nitrogen in the Gulf of Mexico. Just another point to back up that the nutrient pollution that's associated with agricultural runoff is a big time problem in the Chesapeake Bay, the Gulf of Mexico, and it's all from the farm fertilizer. So first we need to identify where the pollution comes from, which isn't always that easy because it's considered non-point source pollution, so it's a very diverse area. It's caused by the increased runoff after rain events of what gets put onto the farm fields. And there's some effects that are associated with it. Some are immediate effects, some of them are compounded effects after a deal of time. So some causes that we see from the agriculture are the applications of pesticides, fertilizers, over-irrigation of crop fields, and we see a lot of erosion. The erosion is due to the tilling and disturbance of the ground that then turns into sedimentation and runs into streams. The pesticides and fertilizers contribute to the chemical and nutrient pollutants, and over-irrigation causes more runoff than usual. So we have some reactions and methods that happen with how agricultural pollution works. The USGS has a Sparrow model that they conducted, and this shows that we have a common body of water that drains into a larger body of water, and we see all the water from this area is considered a watershed. All these high points, anything that falls within the high points drains to a central location. So here in this section we have a cultivated land, so agriculture. Anything that's applied to this land gets moved into the body of water and runs down the stream into the Gulf of Mexico or the Chesapeake Bay, for instance. There's some immediate issues that are associated with this, such as increased or decreased water quality, chemical pollution, and erosion. Obviously, these are big issues because they have effects in the waterway immediately. Fish have issues with the chemicals and the nutrients, and the erosion creates different environments, like it'll create bigger sandbars and end up doing different things in the stream that was considered natural. So once these issues happen over time, we end up with compounded issues. And one of these issues is eutrophication, which is kind of depicted here. We have stream bank erosion and then flooding, of course. Eutrophication is somewhat complicated, but it's a simple concept to understand once you realize what it means. What happens is excess pollutants, nutrients in the water, and these nutrients allow for large amounts of plant growth. Once this plant growth takes place, it eventually dies. It sinks to the bottom, different bacteria and stuff like that consume it and take the oxygen out of the water, which leads to large fish kills because there's no oxygen in the water for the fish to breathe. Stream bank erosion, because we're changing the sediment loads. Every stream wants to have a certain amount of sediment in it, so if there's more, it deposits, and once it deposits, later on down the stream, it erodes again because it wants to get back to that happy amount of stream sediment. And then flooding happens where you raise the height of the stream because of the deposition, because there's more water flowing through, less area for it to flow through, so it comes up and goes over the banks into the surrounding areas. The problem with agricultural pollution is something that not many people see immediately and not many people think about. But when you're farming for large amounts of crops or even small amounts of farms like dairy farms, you have a lot of issues. And with these issues cause environmental issues that nobody really touches base on. So I hope you understand why it's important to control the pollution that we have with agriculture. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you.